first thing I thought about in thinking about this law school was not the old law school that was up by the library, was not some particular embarrassing moment in a class. It really was the group of professors. I was in law school from '58 through '61, and the law school was much, much smaller than it is now. It had, by and large, an older faculty and a very good faculty that, for a variety of reasons, I think, at least at the time I was there, had been through some years when maybe they were not quite as positive about their student body as they were our particular class, which I think had some pretty good students in it. But the faculty was really quite remarkable. Hodge O'Neill, who was, others have probably talked about him, but he was a real pioneer here. He opened up vistas, I think, for a lot of Duke Law students about what it was like to work in a business with a background in law, but a great interest in business itself. Not necessarily to go into business, but to have an understanding of the context in which legal issues arose in business transactions or in business operations. And the way he talked about that, the way he presented those practical sides of the experience, along with the theoretical side and the developing statutory law and all the rest, was really pretty remarkable. There was another guy here that everybody who was at the law school during my time here has to remember, either for good or ill. It was Douglas Maggs, who was a very well-known constitutional law professor and an intimidating person in the classroom. Deliberately intimidating, I think, because of a deep view that he held, and he told me this in subsequent years, that it was very important for law students beginning in their first year to realize that they were in a practice that could from time to time become combative. And he was quite combative in what he did. We had a student in our class, I cannot remember this person's name, but we had a student in our class who was called on one day by Professor Maggs, was basically the subject of the entire class. Nobody else was called on, the entire class. And at the end of that class, this student walked down the front steps of the law school and never came back. It was that intense. Remarkable guy. He did things his way, and a lot of it was very positive.